Assalamu alaikum student. Today I am going to tell you about the histogram. How can we construct a histogram or make a histogram if the class interval are given or the data is in group form? Group data are often represented graphically by histogram. A histogram is a best method in which we can find the mode of the data or the median of the data. The histogram can help us to find the value of mode and value of median group. So group data are often represented graphically by histogram. A histogram consists of rectangles. You have done in class 7 or 8 the rectangular form, the rectangle graph shows called the histogram, each of which has breadth equal or proportional to the size of the concerned core interval. So the height of the size of the class or the size width of the rectangle should be same for each class interval, and height equal or proportional to the corresponding frequency. In a histogram, consecutive rectangles have a common side. Because this is a continued form or this overlapping class, so for this class interval are made for this the class interval are made overlapping in all classes because the histogram is the continuation of rectangular shapes. So we need to overlapping class interval. If the classes are not overlapping, so we have to make the class interval as an overlapping class. So the first step of the construction of histogram, the step 1 is observe the class interval of the distribution. If the frequency distribution, the first you have to observe the class interval. If they are non-overlapping class, discontinuation, change them into overlapping continuous classes. So locate the class boundary on the x-axis and construct, because the histogram always form between the class boundaries and the frequency of the class interval. So we need to draw class boundary, or we need to create a class boundary of the class interval by subtracting the 0.5 from the lower limit, or add the addition of 0.5 to the upper limit, as we have done in the previous video. Now step 3 is construct a vertical rectangle on each line segment representing a class interval such that the height of the rectangle represents frequency of the class interval. So the height of the rectangle means you have to put the correct frequency against the class interval, so you can find the height of the rectangle. So the frequency of the group data always take and on the y-axis, or the class boundaries, locate the class boundaries on the x-axis and frequencies on the y-axis. Put a kink mark and on the horizontal axis. If the scale is not cannot come in your graph, because sometimes we make a Scrabble form which is called a kink mark, or if you don't need if you don't want to take the king mark, so you just choose your scale in this way. You can choose your scale in this way. You can cover all the values in your scale. So sometimes we need to take a suitable scale which cover our all the values. So on the horizontal axis and between the vertical axis and the first rectangle, if the leftmost rectangle does not have the vertical axis on its side. For drawing graph, a scale of representation is required. So when we are going to draw a graph, we need to choose a scale, proper scale, which can represent our data, unless given the choice of a scale is made of suit the data. Difference scale can be taken for the two axes. You can, as you have done in the linear graph of linear equation, and you have it very well. We can take different scale on for x-axis and y-axis. So we can take the different scale for x-axis and y-axis, or we want to say, take the same scale, so we can take it. But mostly in histogram, because this is a data handling and we need to collect a data of different types of items, so there is no need to take the scale for x-axis with just random value. So construct the example is given. Construct a histogram for the following frequency distribution. The height is given in centimeter and number of children. The data is collected from the different distance whose height in between the 101 till 150 centimeter. So the data is arranged in a proper way, or the data is classified. The number of children who are between 101 till 110 are 15, and the distance whose height in between the 111 till 120 are 18, and 121 till 130 is 12. So this is the group data. The class interval, you can see that these are non-overlapping class interval. But when we are going to draw histogram for the frequency distribution, we need to overlap the class. We need a overlapping class interval. So first we have to make a overlapping class interval. So we need to draw class boundary. Now you can check the graph is start from there is some space is between the first class boundary to the 0 point. So sometimes we need to withdraw, we left the space, or sometimes we can start from the 0 axis, and the scale is different for the both the axis. And on y-axis the each difference is equals to 4, is equal to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 16, 18. The number of children or the frequency is on the y-axis, or the height in centimeter, which is the class boundary, which is represent the height of the students in centimeter, is on x-axis. So 100.5, 110 point, and 120.5. This is the class boundary of the data. So I just stop this sharing now, and now I want to share a video which will helpful for you. You can where is this? Just hold on for a while. Okay. This is a video which will helpful for you because he is drawing the histogram, or draw frequency by the help of frequency distribution table. Now in this video we need to make the non-overlapping class interval are given, so we need to make it make this class interval as an overlapping class interval. So we need to add additional column which is called the class boundary. And now you know the class boundary means the subtract 0.5 from the lower limit and add 0.5 to the upper limit of the class interval. So 0.5, when we subtract 0.5 from 1, it becomes 0.5, and add 0.5 to the upper limit, it becomes 10.5. Now these are the class boundaries. So you can just check 0.5 till 50.5. These are the class boundary which are overlapping class interval. And when we are going to plot histogram, we need only these two columns, class boundaries and frequency of the data. So the class boundary always taken as on x-axis, and the frequency of the data on y-axis. We always take the class boundaries on x-axis, and frequency of the data is on y-axis. First we have to choose a proper scale. In this video he start from the 0.5, and you can leave this column first 5 square, and you can start from here 0.5 and 10.5. This is most suitable value, but in this video the video is good, so I have chosen for you. But you can start the scale from this 0.5, the 5 left 5 small square from 0 till this, and then you can start. The 0 is the common point, 0 is the origin. If you try to draw the histogram in your graph book, so you can start your values from this point where my cursor is, this white is cursor. So 0.5, then the 10 difference, because each 10 small square represents the 10.5, 0.5, 10.5, 20.5, 30.5. Now from 0.5 till 10.5, the frequency equals to 2. The frequency is on y-axis value. So 0.5 we mark 2, and draw a rectangle from 0.5 till 10.5, because this is an interval of the class. So we just draw a rectangle which cover these all values use. So 0.5 till 10.5, all the values lie in this rectangular box, and next class is start from 10.5 till 20.5, and the frequency of this class is 3, so we mark 3 here and draw the rectangle. And now you can see the difference, the size of the width of the rectangle is same for all the rectangular bar. And the next class 20.5 to 30.5 is height is 6 frequency, so we mark 6 and then draw the rectangle, complete the rectangle, and then 9 is the highest frequency, so 9 from this 30.5 till 40.5 the 9 values are lie, and 40.5 till 50.5 the last value. So you can observe 40.54. So this is the histogram which is shown by the rectangular bar and the graph. The rectangles are connected to each other. So because the histogram is a connected rectangular bar, so we need to create a class boundary for this type of graph. And now in this way, you can also find your mode of the data. As you know, you have done the mode of the group data and then the highest frequency of the data. In which class the highest frequency of the data, the class is called the model class. Now, if you are going to plot, you want to find the mode of the data by histogram. So what will you do? The highest frequency of the class is 9. So you just take the 9 rectangle, the height, the one corner of the rectangle whose frequency is 9, touch the second consecutive class which frequency lower class interval or lower class boundary is 40.5. Just draw a line from this to this, join this height to this height, and the second, the 9, the whose highest frequency rectangular box, the next side, next corner of the rectangle is touch the another consecutive class whose frequency is 6. So these two class, and where these lines cut each other, the point will join this point to the join this point to the x-axis and draw a vertical line on the y-axis, and you can just read the value of the mod. So you can, because the difference between each box is 10.5, so it means 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, and 10.5. Now you can read where the value from here: 31.5, 32.5, 33.5, 34.5. So the mode of the data is 34.5, where these two lines cut to each other. The point is the mode of the data. So the highest frequency represents the model class. And now how can we find the mode of the data? We just draw the line from the corner of the highest frequency bar to the next frequency bar. So you can just find the value of the mode. Now you just check it. Mode of the data is 34.5. So this is the histogram of the frequency distribution table, and you can calculate the mode of the distribution table by drawing the line. So I think this video will helpful for you, and now you learn from this. And please do your do the question from your exercise which is given in your book. And if you have any problem, any query, you can ask me in personal or on your WhatsApp group. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.